taking over, that's a promise, not a threat.
Uppercut season off top, you stop breathing.
Yeah, what's good, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Real Talk, where, as always, if shit's real, we talk about it. Yo, I'm your host for tonight, Pat Scorpio, the New England representative, and as always, I got my man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Well, not as always, because it's just me, Conscious Pilot, the West Coast Avenger, #1 contender, preparing for liftoff, Destination Ringing Radio. On time, baby. We're on time this time.
Yes, we are. We're not on. We are definitely on that right time because a couple of our members, they can't make it tonight. Now, shout out to King P and Lord and Shuttleworth, aka Lord of Us, aka LB. LB may join us in a little bit. It may join us a little later. P, I think, might not join us, but shout out to him though, because he's politicking right now and networking. So it's like he's still, even though he's not on the chat, he's still doing ring gang shit. So always, man. So it's just me and Conscious Pilot. We about to hold it down. My man Pilot stays elevated above the clouds. You dig? So it's so we're gonna rock. You know what I'm saying? We got a couple of previews, and as well as the fact that we are going to preview the Shakur Stevenson Edward Santos doubleheader. Because that's next week. That's on a fucking Thursday. Truthfully, it's wild that we're getting that type of card on a Thursday. Like, I honestly can't remember the fact that we got a type of card like that on a Thursday. Like, I remember one time we had a Kovalev fight on a Monday. I think HBO aired that shit. And I thought that shit was wild.
Yeah, I mean, shouts out to Pro Box. I know even this week we're getting a decent Thursday card, and but this is different. This is like top rank ESPN title fight, Shakur, one of the biggest young stars on Thursday. That's pretty crazy, to be honest.
Yeah, and then and then someone also pairing that with Emmanuel Navarrete too as well. Who probably, if not for some injuries and some and some downtime, he probably should be in the pound for pound 10 or at least pound for pound 50. Actually, he probably is pound for pound 15. He might be, what I'm saying. But we will get to that card shortly. But we had two cards this past weekend. Sort of one that was pretty much under the radar, and one that was just like, it's a top rank card and shit like that. We'll get into the Matchroom card first. Matchroom, Eddie was in Monte Carlo, because Eddie likes his exotic locations. Like, it's not the UK, but it's Mexico. It's like he likes his off-brand locations for his fights.
Off-brand, yeah.
I mean, they are, bro. Like,
they are.
They are, like, Eddie does, Eddie does hold fights in places. I mean, he's probably the only one of these promoters that's actually held fights in my actual area that I could actually drive to and drive home at the end of the night. He's probably the only one.
Shouts out to Eddie for that.
Yeah, like, honestly, I have not been to a non-Matchroom card in my area that I've actually gone home at the end of the night, since probably 2018? No, not 2018. 2016. There we go.
Damn.
Nigga, that shit's wild, bro. Like, that's so
wild. I know you went to the Andre card. You went to that Rhode Island. Was that the same one, the Andre card you went to?
Yeah, I said non-Matchroom card.
Non-Matchroom.
Yeah. I've been to all, like, anytime that, because Andre, it was in Providence and in Massachusetts and in New Hampshire, so I always, I was always there because and then I didn't have to like get a hotel room or Airbnb, and I could come straight home. Those are the only cards. I haven't done that with PBC since 2016, and Top Rank never has any events in New England, so yeah. So here we are. But yeah, Monte Carlo was, his location there. And the main event of that one was Joe Cordina versus Edward Vasquez. But before we get into that, though, and truthfully, the card was actually, I don't know about you, but the card was actually pretty damn good. Like, it was
better than I expected. I ain't gonna lie. It was good all the way through. You know what I'm saying? The women's fight, the opener was fire. Yeah.
The opening fight, which was, Ramla Ali who's determined to avenge her loss, and it was a brutal one at that. It was incredibly brutal. In fact, me and King P were in the house for it in New Orleans, and we were like thinking like, God damn, against Julissa Guzman, and that one is like, she was like bobbleheaded every single time Guzman touched her. She was bobbleheaded, and then she was like brutally knocked out. Like, and that was unexpected because Guzman looked tough, but I was like, God damn, she really has some power. So, but Ramla told Eddie like, nah, we gotta run this back, Chief. So yeah, sign this up as soon as we can. And also salute for Kang Sung, salute RGR in chat, salute Kang Sung, salute Chris Brand, shout Shohei gang. The car was good actually. Yeah, no, it was. I know most people like to pile on Eddie for a lot of different reasons, but when he does make a good card, like you gotta call that shit out. He did, because I know, like I said, a lot of people like to pile up on Eddie and then also on DAZN. And then shout out to Discord Boxing Chat, salute. But yeah, no, Ramla Ali, Julissa Guzman. Pilot, what was your thoughts on that fight, bro? Because it was actually it was more competitive than I thought it would be. Because in the chat we were all talking about the Guzman was going to repeat her win.
She was all up in her head, like in the weigh in with her, putting her hands on her cheek and shit, just like all on some Harley Quinn evil shit. But yeah. And Ramla looks shook. I ain't gonna lie. I know it's hard to just gauge it off that, but you get knocked out brutally by a Mexican broad with tattoos on their face. Exactly. Like, women's boxing is you don't see that often. So you just expected, okay, this might be. Even though people said, I think Ramla was probably winning the first fight. It was kind of close though. You know what I mean? Before she got brutally KO'd with probably the woman KO of the year.
Maybe for me, because it might be different because you watch on TV and me and
you were there, yeah, you were
there. Were in the first or second row, like because for us it looked like she was just every single time that Guzman was touching her, she was, Ali, Ramla Ali couldn't just take her power.
That's how I felt. See, the people were saying, Ramla was outboxing her the first fight. I was like, from what I saw, she was being competent, but she was getting her head sprung.
Exactly. Like, yeah, she was in there. She was tough, but she wasn't outboxing nothing. Guzman, every time Guzman touched her, she, she was bobbleheaded. She was staggering. Like, that power was too much. This time, the funny thing is like, I think Guzman did hit her with the same shots, but I don't know what it is, but Ali didn't, she didn't stumble like she usually was before.
She kept her. She didn't get too close into those exchanges. She was weary of that because I felt like in the first fight she didn't really expect to get knocked out like that, so she did a little more reckless. She was a little bit more cautious in this fight, and there was a split second in the middle of the fight where I was like, okay, she might get rocked again, but she kind of somehow.
Yeah, and honestly, truthfully, I thought Guzman did land plenty. Like, Ali was busy, but Guzman was still stalking her and still walking her down in stages of that fight. And Guzman was landing. I was thinking, it was like every single time that Guzman was landing, I'm thinking to myself, I was gonna see another bobbleheaded action or stuff like that. But Ramla Ali, she hung tough or whatever. And it seemed like also in the later rounds that Ali was actually hurting Guzman a little bit. I don't know if that's what it looked like to you, Pilot.
I did see it. It seemed like Guzman was a little gassing out a little bit, and obviously Ramla was actually boxing competent and hitting her often. So it kind of did make I did notice her getting a little hurt every so often.
Yeah, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, no way, because I was like, if Ramla Ali stopped this, then I know Vegas would be like, what the fuck, yeah, because we looked at those odds, and like the Ramla KO was like plus like 5,000 or 6,000, something crazy like that. Because I was thinking to myself, if that shit happens, I was like to say, oh shit, that shit would have been crazy. But salute though. But when the decision was read, I honestly thought that, I know it was controversial. But I do think that Ramla actually did enough to win the fight. Yeah,
I don't think people thought it was a gift. I know Ramla's popular because she does a lot of like stuff, I guess, for women. I don't know, but she's like, Ramlali's pretty popular when it comes to women boxing relative to her status, right?
Yeah. She
gets a lot of the hate of like, oh, she got a gift. I was like, no, I thought she won that fight. I thought she won what? It was 10 rounds. I thought she won like 7-3.
Yeah, it's 7-3. I know all the judges were like 96-94, and and like I had no problem with it. It was that close to fight, but I thought Ramla did more than enough to win the fight. And I was trying to figure out where the controversy was. Like, I get it. Most people thought Ramla would get knocked out. I thought we'd get knocked out, but I have to give credit where credit is due. Like, Ramla hung tough in there with someone that had the power to knock her block off, and she took that and she got her win back. So I have to respect it because it was a short turnaround. Because anyone that got brutally knocked out like how she got knocked out, you'd be thinking like, God damn, maybe I need to avoid, or maybe I need to take a warm up first. But no, she went back into the fire,
straight into it. Yeah, that was, which we all thought was kind of weird, but whatever, it worked. It
worked. Yeah, it worked. And she got the decision. So, I mean, like I said, tough. Like both women, need to be applauded for not fucking around with the rematch. Guzman, for still putting in the effort, to gave Ramla a fight, and then Ramla being able to, this time, improve her defense, kept her hands busy, kept her feet moving, and not getting into silly exchanges and stuff like that.
Would you want to see a third one, or just let it pass? Would you want to see a trilogy in that, or not?
I mean, I would love to see a trilogy, bro. Like, I mean, it wasn't like it was one of those fights where, like I said, it was that close enough, and it has this little minor controversy to it that, you can sell a third fight. You could sell
that as like a co-main on a smaller card. To be honest, it could be a little co-main or something on one of the small.
Exactly. Absolutely. And then I see Android, you checked in. Shout out Android. Things are gonna heat up in boxing again once Thursday hits late November to the end of the year. Is stupid stack. Yeah, it is. Like, I know this week and next week too. There's gonna be there's gonna be a lull, and it happens. There's always gonna be lulls in boxing. The weekends there's not gonna be a lot of there's not gonna be a lot of notable cards like that. But it's it happens. But December is absolutely stacked, and so is end of November too. And then the next fight, though, however, was was it the let's see which one was the next. Now, was the title fight the co-main? I'm just trying to remember, or was it the Sissoko fight? I always forget.
The Sissoko fight was after that, which I guess I don't know if you want to talk about that. It was an okay fight. I'm still not throwing Sissoko fully, but
Sissoko. I mean, let's put it this way. I mean, he fought better than what he usually does, but it's like one of those things. It's like he scored a vicious knockdown in round 2. And truthfully, I thought he would have stepped on the gas to try to get dude out of it because dude was plenty hurt.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah, he was.
But he did. And say he just stayed in first gear and did what he was just picking.
It got boring. The fight started off good, but then it just got he started coasting, and I was like, because there was I think in the first round, the Mexican dude hit him with a looping left that stunned Sissoko pretty bad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he had him on Queer Street for
a couple of times. He hit him with that left that made Sissoko kind of stop in his tracks. I was like, oh shit! But then it just kind of after Sissoko dropped him, he just kind of Demetrius Andreated
it. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and like I said, it was just like because Sissoko clearly had the power to hurt him, but he just stayed in first gear, and he won a comfortable decision. And like I said, in Sissoko, I do think. I mean, I can see that he has talent though, but if you want to get some big fights, you got to get some bigger victories, like someone like Lucero, tough guy. Lucero was tough because he hung in there even after that knockdown. But now if Sissoko had at least kept his foot on the gas and tried to get rid of dude, and dude was just being tough, that'll be another thing. That'll be like, okay, at least he tried to get him out of there. But him like staying in first gear and not really and just concentrating on point, and it was a 12-round fight too. Like, nah, like. That's not the type of fight you should go for a decision. Like you gotta put your foot in somebody's ass.
Yeah, especially in the welterweight division. You're like the only welterweight Eddie really has. You could have, stood out. Make Eddie want to break a buck for you, but I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like, yeah, dude needs to just a minor tweak. Just try to get that shit, right. Because, like I said, he has talent though, but if you want people to actually see you fight, and if you're over here hurting people, but you're letting them off the hook, that's no good.
No good at all. Yep, no good.
Absolutely. But and then the co-main though, honestly was it produced what we call another KO of the year. Now, obviously in the light flyweights, a lot of the stereotypes with the light flyweights is that they don't have a lot of power, that they hit each other like 450
pillow fist, rock'em sock'em yawn type shit. That's what they say.
Yeah, and and they don't necessarily knock each other out. Well, one flyweight decided to he was gonna rewrite the narrative on that one, where Adrian Curiel, who was a sizable underdog in the fight, he's 23-4-1 with only 5 KOs or 4 KOs at the time, challenging Siv Nanshinga, who could punch. 12 was undefeated, 12-0 with 9 KOs, and could absolutely punch. So you're like thinking to yourself like, oh, this is just gonna be because I didn't think Curiel would actually win. But he ended things in round 2 with a blistering overhand right. Honestly, I didn't think he even had that much power. What did you think when Curiel landed that overhand right?
That was a nice calculated shot, because I know the guys only had 3-4 knockouts, he's not a power puncher, but he landed that shot perfectly, and he gave Natshinga that quote unquote Tyson Fury, what Pirog did Danny Jacobs, quick nap, dude took a quick fucking nap. Like, dude was underneath the ropes taking a nap. He was down for a good 6-7 seconds and woke up, just like the Fury, and not, you see it a few times with the first fight with Wire did on Fury and the Pirog on Danny Jacobs, but it was just like, gee, like out the blue, because Shingo is supposed to be a new South African, crown jewel for Eddie.
Yeah, like I think they're already counting the birds before they hatch, because they're talking about, oh yeah, we're gonna get into these unification, this unification is that, and just like that, his shit was over. Like,
ruined the plans. The unknown lesser known Mexican, on Eddie card.
Another Mexican. Eddie, I swear, Eddie's the only one. Like I said, every single time that Eddie always brings someone who's a known Mexican or a Mexican that they brings to lose, they always 9 out of 10 times they score these wild upsets.
Yeah, that was a people say it's upset of the year. It could be, I guess, up there.
It's up there. It's up there. Especially certainly KO. It's certainly KO of the year candidate for goddamn sure. So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's up there. But hey, man, Adrian Curiel, man's the new light flyweight champion of the world, man. So salute him, like I said, because that shit was sudden too. Whereas Sissoko, we thought would get rid of him, would get rid of dude early. I was fully expecting that chicken to go some rounds. I just didn't expect that to happen. So. Definitely salute to Curiel for that fight.
Yeah. That was second round, right? That was second round.
It was a second round knockout, one punch second round knockout. Like I said, you don't see those at light flyweight. You don't see those. You don't see it. Like usually the knockouts are kind of accumulation. That one was just a one shot. That was a one hitter quitter.
Yeah. That's a perfect shot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And salute Lukey. I see you says this schedule sucks.
Yeah, Thursday. Loki is a good Thursday card, but it's hardcore. Colin Walsh versus Villarreal, which is kind of like nobody really cares, but we'll be watching.
Yeah, but Luke, are you talking about the schedule to close out the year? Like, what schedule are you talking about, bro? Like, which ones? What are you talking about? I know this is a light. I know this week, this week is incredibly light, and so is next week is gonna be light too, and until the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
But yeah, Ken Sandoval's on it. But yeah, Colin Walsh, Villarreal's nice 154 fight.
Oh, this week it's absolutely light. It's positively absolutely light this week.
Yeah, it's light. It's until the Benavidez. Benavidez on Andre 25th. Yeah, that's when it picks back.
Yeah, that and Cameron, Katie Taylor too. That's that was.
Yeah, and they got my boy Diego Pacheco on the 18th too. So It's far for the course.
Yeah, and like I said, we've had more than enough cards, so it's like it's not like it's not we're in the pandemic years.
Yeah,
in the pandemic years where like niggas would be starving for this,
Right.
But and of course now it takes us to our main event with Joe Cordina and Edward Vasquez. One thing about Cordina though, I honestly think he's getting to be slightly overrated because because this is the second fight in a row for him that I've seen like people are putting hands on dude like I don't know if it looked like to you, but it looked like people were like Joe Cordina was getting hands put on him by Edward Vasquez like often.
Yeah, if Vasquez had more power, that could have been a different outcome. I'm just saying like because Vasquez only had like 3-4 KOs out of 20 whatever fights, like it seems like towards the end of the fight or the second half, Vasquez was controlling the pace of that fight.
Yeah.
Cordina's not a bad fighter, but here I don't want to fight Shaki Foster. I don't know. The money's not there, but you're fighting in Monaco for a decent payday. But still, it's like, come on, man. Like, whatever. Go move up, or we're gonna fight Wood next, probably. I don't know. I'm just kind of
yeah. But is it? Because number one, I don't know what it is. Because it just seems like he's still riding the wave because when he beat Ogawa by a one punch knockout in the second round. Again, that was unexpected because he wasn't showing that type of power before. So it's like, and then we had the Rakhimov fight, and Rakhimov was a whole war. Like that shit was a real war, and he got hands put on him in that one.
Yeah, that was a good fight. He dropped him, no?
He dropped him in the second round. Yeah,
but it wasn't. Yeah, it was obviously he hasn't really. I'm saying he's a one-hit wonder so far. Cordina doesn't seem like he's a quality fighter, but I still don't know his level. As a 130 right. in the 130, obviously Navarrete's level pretty elite.
Cordina's is not, and then Edward Vasquez, like I know we talked about before. Edward Vasquez is like a sleeper. Like Edward Vasquez, could honestly feasibly be undefeated fight. Like dude, like his record is deceiving. Like it was 15-1 with 3 knockouts, but he gave Raymond Ford his hardest fight. It arguably beat Raymond Ford.
Yeah, he probably got jobbed up on that fight. I remember, but I do like the post fight was like kind of adds to all the entertainment because Vasquez was like, "Fuck that, I got robbed." Basically, they kind of went back and forth.
Yeah.
I hope Vasquez earns himself another the zone spot somewhere on a card because he did his thing. He brought the fight.
Yeah, Vasquez. Yeah, because let's see. Lukey said Edward Vasquez is a true gatekeeper who never had the politics on his side. I don't know if he is not. I don't think as a gatekeeper, because if he was a gatekeeper, he would have more losses on his record. But then, like I said, he has the Raymond Ford fight, which was he should have lost. He should have won. And then the Cordina fight, which he has an argument for winning, because as you mentioned before, Pilot, like he was controlling the fight down. He was outworking Cordina down the stretch.
Yeah, down the stretch. I might have had it maybe a draw. I can see why the A side won, but that was a close fight either way. I felt like.
Yeah, but I wasn't no damn 116, 112.
No 8-4. 8-4 was already preset. Preset bullshit.
Yeah, the draw. Yeah, the draw score that one judge gave it was accurate enough. Like I had nothing, but yeah. But saying that the Cordina won 116, 112 in that fight, there was no 116, 112 in that fight. Like not even in the list. Yeah, 7-5, whatever, but there was no 8-4 in there.
No, 7-5 either way. 7-5 either way, draw type vibe for sure. Okay.
Right. And like I said, and honestly, I can see why Vasquez, because Vasquez, he went off too. Like he was like, "Oh, you don't have Daddy, I don't have Daddy Eddie to save me." And going in, it's like, yeah, this is probably Cordina's last fight at 130, which would be funny if he says that's true.
That was a really weak way to go out. But then again, I did see because Cordina did look a little dry in terms of the weigh-in, and I guess half his fights has been at 135. So maybe he's a natural lightweight, maybe.
Yeah, he might be. Like, you just never know with some of these guys too. But and then it wasn't like he did fight earlier this year. But yeah, like if he's because I remember if you're coming in, if you're getting off your scales and you're looking gaunt and shit like that, then you probably it might be time, but he's a whole champion now. So it's like 135 right now is is more than held up right now. So that's why, so I don't blame him if he's not moving back up again. Mm-hmm. And he has fights at 130, but it just remains to be seen.
Exactly.
I mean, Luki, Andy Cruz is going to face Hector Tanahara. Like, that's a solid fight. That's a solid fight for him right now. Especially especially for a second fight. So, it could be down the line, absolutely. And shout out to King Sung. Yeah, watch this later, beginning to end. Peace out. Obviously, always, salute you for coming on for listening to our show and everything like that. But yeah, Cordina. Yeah, and Cordina, he was like, don't make any excuses. But yeah, that wasn't one of those fights because Cordina said you have to be elite to beat him, and it's just like in Vasquez. Vasquez is definitely a great fighter. He's a great fighter he's a quality fighter at super featherweight. So, like, to say that if you don't think he is, then you're just basically you're lying to yourself. Like, Vasquez is everything. That's why I don't agree with Luki saying that he's a gatekeeper. I think he's a true blue contender.
Well, I think so. When it comes to gatekeeper, people have different definitions of a gatekeeper and a contender. You know what I'm saying, or a prospect. Everybody, because some people will look at a fighter like Dronin as a prospect, and clearly he's not a prospect. He's a contender. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just different. He looks like he might be a high level gatekeeper now, but I hope his next fight is more of a winnable fight to get him, back on a, at least for like people that aren't used to seeing him, more on a positive, outlook.
Yeah, but the funny thing is too, for Edward Vasquez, I always thought that he was actually signed to Eddie. So that's why I was thinking to myself, why is he going to Eddie? Why is he mentioning Daddy Eddie so much like that? Because I always thought he was actually signed to do it.
Like, probably one of those, quote unquote hybrid two-way deals. We're like, we need you to fight on this card as the B-side.
Yeah, because if Vasquez had actually beaten Ray Ford on the cards or whatever, then Eddie would try to sign him. Like, okay, yeah, we'll sign you.
No choice. You want to keep that belt.
Yeah, and then Luki, the way Cordina acted after fight, yeah, it did rub me wrong too. Like, it was just like, because he was trying to save face because it wasn't a dominating performance, even though the judges clearly thought it was, and it clearly wasn't. So Cordina was because Cordina should probably breathe a sigh of relief that he actually won that fight.
Yep, he got the benefit of the doubt, definitely.
Because I always say this too: if a fighter has more than enough energy to talk shit the way that Vasquez was talking, you didn't whip him. You didn't whip him enough. You didn't beat him enough. You know what I'm saying? I said the same shit before when Chris Arreola dropped Andy Ruiz, and Andy had a hell of a night with dude, even though I thought Andy did clearly win the fight, but the fact that Arreola was out there, running his mouth the way he was, is like he wasn't beaten enough. You know what I mean? So, but like I said, Cordina. In truth, I definitely agree. If Cordina fought like a Navarrete or an Oshaki Foster, who for some reason doesn't want no smoke with Foster whatsoever, does not want it.
He said no money. He said he literally came out before that saying, "Oh, there's no money in that fight." Okay, whatever, buddy.
Yeah, there's no money. No,
that's just duck language. That's just quack, quack, quack. That's what that is.
Yeah, because he saw what happened in the Rocky Hernandez fight. He saw, Foster. Unlike Cordina, Foster stopped somebody I didn't think he could stop, and he stopped him convincingly. Yeah. It's like in a back and forth war. So it's like, Cordina does not want those type of problems. And Luki, Foster's on a different level, and Wood might beat him. Wood right now is, he's kind of washed.
He's kind of washed. I don't know. Like in his first fight at 130, that'd be tough. Maybe
it would absolutely be. It would be tough doing it. And I get it. Like Ward, he gave up the belt because he was like he was getting a little. It was getting harder to make the weight. And I get it. You got to do what you got to do. But Wood because Wood is always interesting because Wood carries his power late into the fights, like really late into the fight, and he just recently brutally knocked out another volume puncher. So so it's like, yeah, like honestly, if Wood is an underdog in that fight, I would put all types of money on him.
Yeah, and then shouts out to I do agree, Luki Cordina. He's definitely gonna get dropped the way he gets hit. Yeah, I mean he's one of those guys that aren't bad at anything, but his defense he gets hit a lot. I mean that's like who doesn't get hit a lot this day and age? But yeah, he's.
Yeah, no, because one thing, because I said the same thing both in this fight and the Rakhimov fight. It's like Cordina gets hit with a lot of silly shit, like usually just little punches. I'm thinking to myself like that's not, and I don't say that about every fighter like that, but usually when I start saying that fighters are getting hit with some silly shit, they're getting hit with some shit that you shouldn't be getting hit with, you know. And like I said, it's only a matter of time that someone with some power, like Rakhimov had power. He just, but Cordina was just tough, But someone's got to make him pay for taking all them silly ass shots that he be taking.
Yeah, he definitely. Yeah, he definitely is like, I don't say he's plateaued, but again, we don't know his level. Maybe his level is just not the top level. I don't know. He's a champion, but I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. He's a champion. He's a 2-time champion at that. So it's like,
oh yeah, I forgot he lost it the first time, right? And he won it back. Yeah.
Well, no, yeah, they took his belt because
he lost it, but because of his injury, he had a eye injury or some shit, right?
Hand injury.
Hand injury. IBF, they want to. IBF still tough when they want to be.
Right. You know what I'm saying? But like overall, though, Eddie did put out a good watchable card. So it's like there's no. You can't you have to get like, I know people like to dump on Eddie and DAZN and Matchroom and all that, for different reasons, but it was definitely a very watchable card, and it was entertaining for what it was. Like Cordina Vasquez it was probably very close to probably a fight of the year type of brawl, because it was a hard fight. It wasn't as dramatic as Rakhimov though, because Rakhimov was really hurting Cordina, whereas Vasquez was just outworking him. So, but no, it was a good showing from Eddie, and as he's his lineup of fights are on their way and everything like that. So salute to him, and salute Nathaniel. I see you too, Sal. I see you joined. Thank you for joining the show.
It was one of his better cards this year. I mean, from what I can tell from recent memory, I felt like one of his stronger cards.
Yeah, like I said, it's always like Eddie, like the cards you don't really expect from him. Those are the cards that are like, oh shit, there's actually some action on this shit. Like it's actually solid all the way through, but when it's not, it's like, geez, it's like it's like the New Orleans card that me and Poy went to. It's like, it started out good, but it just ended out terrible. and no one. The
Regis card, right? Zarella.
Yeah, the Zarella card. Yeah, like, oof. Yeah, like the way those fans emptied out the Smoothie King after that decision was read. They didn't even bother. They didn't even want to hear what Prograis had to say. They were like, nah, bro, like, yeah, you kind of struggled. Like we gone. Oh man, though. But yeah, like Joe Cordina should absolutely face O'Shaquie Foster. Like that should be like, it's like, I mean, he's at super featherweight. Like, what fucking fight is he gonna look at? Like, if he goes to 130, unless he goes to...
It's definitely going to be the Lee Wood fight, if anything, right?
Yeah. It's going to be Lee, because, Lee Wood is at least... it's probably... Lee Wood's probably more beatable for him right now.
Because, usually after a fighter wins a title, right? Like, after sorry, I'm going to cut you off. I just wanted to mention, like, when Foster won the 130 title on PBC, I thought PBC would automatically sign him. You know what I'm saying? Like, how they sign Hector. Anytime a fighter wins a title, they get signed, basically, by that platform. I don't hear anything about him with Matchroom, so obviously I think O'Shaquie rather do the free agent, not be for now at least.
In truth, it's not bad, because at least as long as he's not signed to a promoter, like he can actually he can look for the fights with all the 130 champions.
Yeah, maybe he found the proper management, because not a lot of guys have that flexibility of being able to go.
Well, dude was signed to Probellum via Disrupt Promotion. So when he got his released, but I don't know who he's actually signed for. But if he can go from PBC to Matchroom, like he clearly has a lot of freedom.
Speaking of Probellum, yeah, we need that boy Charles Conwell to get on one of these big platforms soon.
Yeah, because Charles Conwell, I know Lukey, obviously, is one of big Charles Conwell's biggest fans. I know we've talked about Conwell with him plenty of times. Yeah, Conwell is too damn talented to be in where he is right now, in limbo right now.
I know he's with DeBella, but I think him and DeBella decide to part ways. But it's just like, damn, we need really. He needs to be in that PBC 154. I mean, be real. He needs to be on that, in that PBC one super welterweight, mix.
Yeah, he does. He absolutely, positively does. But I mean, as we all know, PBC is going through. It's winding down on Showtime, and we are just patiently waiting what PBC's next move is actually going to be.
That them announcement would be nice sometime soon, but
well, he probably can't. He can't do that while they're still, because they're still contractually bound.
Yeah, fair. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, because then it might be breach of contract and shit like that. It's a whole bunch of stuff, so they can't do that. They have to. If anything, it's probably gonna be all rumors for that until probably after the final card on December 16th. That's December 16th is the final Showtime PBC Showtime card.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure we will probably know by New Year's, but we won't know before that, outside of any rumors and stuff like that. Or of course, if me, you, King P, or LB get blessed with any type of inside information like we are from time to time.
Yeah. And not let that fake shit everybody, because you hear all the rumors, but it's all rumors until it's confirmed.
Absolutely, yeah.